Lined up for you in just a few minutes after we see the highlight video from the Burns game. Head coach Greg Lloyd will be joining us. Got a good show. We're going to review the game, the victory, 1914 win over Burns. We're going to talk about the open date and the week that the coaches spent with the team. And we're going to look ahead to this Friday night's game versus Hunter Huss. So we encourage you to come stick around. We've got a great show tonight. And we're going to take a sponsor break. And after the sponsor break, we are going to see the highlight video that we put together for the Burns game. Once again, it was a 1914 win over county rival Burns High School. So glad you're here for Mountaineer football tonight, week 4. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Mountaineer Football Tonight. Jeff Johnson, your host. Glad to have Coach Lloyd. Coach Lloyd, welcome back to our show.
Glad to be with you, Jeff.
Yeah,
Good to be back.
I think a couple weeks ago we had Coach Cruz on here, and your job is safe.
He did good. I was impressed.
I love Coach Cruz. I've known him for many years, and he did a great job. But we're glad to have you tonight. Thanks for being on the show.
Back. Yes, sir.
Well, listen, let's get right to it. Let's talk about the big win at Burns. Coach Lloyd, if we go back to before the season started, we talked about the three big games that you had coming in this season. And I know you were quoted in the paper as saying, hey, coming out of the first three games, 2-1, successful considering this is a year we're growing. But let's talk a little bit, Coach Lloyd, about the big win. The Mountaineers won 19-14, traveled to the upper part of the county, and the big win at Burns. Let's talk about that for a little bit. The things I really want to focus on first off, Coach, and you can interrupt and interject at any time, but talk about the defensive effort. The Mountaineers, you guys went down early, 7-0, and then the defense pretty much held them until the very end. Talk about the defensive effort during the game.
Well, it was just, like I said, it was really our effort, not to play on words there. It was really just our effort. We ended up, we got a lot of stops, had a couple of big turnovers. We played, it was more of a bend, don't break situation sometimes when the field shrank down to near in the red zone. We were able to keep them out a couple times. We had some fourth down stops. It was really a total group effort on that side of the ball. We were suffering from lots of cramps and some people going out with some injury there. And we had a lot of guys step up, go in there and play some big minutes. So it really was a total group effort. They played hard. I thought we tackled pretty well minus the last drive. We missed 2 tackles there on the last drive that really hurt us. It helped them score their last touchdown. But other than that, I thought we played pretty physical over there. I thought the D-line continued to improve. Thought Seth Neal continued to do a good job up front. It is only his second game playing defensive tackle. So, we're just really pleased. It was really a good win over a good Burns team. And, like I said, it's been a tough 3-game stretch, 3 good teams, and coming out with 2 wins. Happy with that, and that should give us some momentum. But, of course, each week's different. You got to keep showing up and playing. But just happy with where we're at right now.
Of course, no doubt. I know we've talked on here before about complementary football, and I know as much as you want to score a lot of points, it really helps the defense kept you in. It's got to be good for the offense to know that the defense continued to get some stops, and the offense was able to score and put some points on the board. Yeah,
offensively, I thought we moved the ball pretty well. I thought we moved the ball pretty well against Asheville. We missed a couple opportunities for points, but all in all, I thought we picked up a lot of first downs, burned a lot of clock off. Trying to keep our defense fresh. We got a lot of guys going both ways, so shortening the game is not always a bad idea, especially when it's so hot. So it kind of worked out pretty good. You make a great point playing complementary football. I think we do that pretty well here, and we have the first 3 games. But really just a credit to our players, credit to the assistant coaches for doing a nice job of getting the guys ready. But the players came out and played hard and got us a big county win.
Quick question for you about offensively. When you came in, was it your intent to try to really, obviously you want to establish the run anytime in football, but as it turns out, you ran a good bit more than you passed in this game. Was that just how the game unfolded, or was that a really concerted effort to try to run the ball better?
Well, it's really. We try to be balanced. We try to have a plan for both coming into games. And then sometimes one seems to be better than the other, or maybe they're stronger against the pass than they are the run, or vice versa, and we want to be able to take advantage of those things. And I thought we did that. We got in our we call it our nasty set, our big set. And we're A.J. Richardson and Seth Neal, our lead blockers. And, of course, A.J. carried the ball a few times for some big yards, too. They're big, strong boys. And we like getting in that, and that kind of controls the game some. The problem with getting in that all the time is a lot of those guys are playing defense, so it just kind of wears them out. So we try to be careful about not doing it so much. But I think to beat a good team, usually you got to be pretty balanced. And, we were just fortunate enough. We did have some nice run blocking. Backs ran hard. and then we had some timely completions as well. So I mean, it was pretty well all around good game offensively. Our penalties were definitely fewer than had been in the previous week, so that was a positive for us. And but like I said, it really was a good win in all three phases, and I'm just proud of the guys.
Coach, let's take a few moments to talk about the big plays. On the stat line, it seemed like the Mountaineers, I think, had 8 tackles for loss in that game, as well as DeAndre Hoyle had a big long pass at the end from Little John, as well as a big interception late in the game. How huge is that for a team to really come up with some big plays in the course of the victory?
Well, I thought our seniors stepped up big time. You know, we don't have a ton, but we got a good many of them playing. 6 or 7 of them play a lot of minutes, and all those guys stepped up. And DeAndre Hull had a huge game, and you know, he had an opportunity early in the game, or early in the third quarter, to catch a touchdown pass, and normally he would catch that one. He didn't, he dropped that one, but you know, nobody hung their head, nobody's blaming anybody. We just, hey, we all make mistakes, and he wanted a chance to make up for that, and he got his opportunity at the end. Fourth quarter, he got an interception, then he backed it up with a long touchdown reception. And that's what good leaders do. That's what those seniors do. They step up when you need them the most, and that's what our guys did. And you talk about tackles for loss, that really saved us. Sometimes they would get some nice gains on us, but then we'd turn around and get a sack or a tackle for loss and put us back behind the chains again and helped us out. So it's really just a total team effort. They had fun. It was fun just to be out there with them, and just they were excited. They played with energy, and you know, it was just a good night to be a Mountaineer.
Well, as we said, we know coming back on a road trip, it's always good when you come back from a win.
No
That's
doubt.
a much better bus ride,
No doubt.
for the team. Well, let's transition a little bit. So the win, 1914, big win. In just a few minutes when we come back, we're going to talk about going into conference and the importance of the conference games. But you had an open date. You had a bye week. Obviously, not a time to take a break. You're in the heart of the season. So share with us as fans or anyone watching what are some of the things you really take the opportunity to do and to work on during a bye week?
Well, we just kind of work on ourselves. You know, Monday was Labor Day, so we gave them Monday off, and then we practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Went shorts and shoulder pads. Tried to stay healthy, but also stay in football shape. So we did a lot of special teams. Put in a few new things offensively to work on. A few new plays defensively. Coach Wilson, like he calls it, getting back to his bread and butter and things that he feels comfortable about, just re-emphasizing some things, working on some fundamentals, and then just trying to get better and just stay in football shape, and also feel rested when you come off that bye, because we want to take advantage of our week without a game, so we do feel fresh. So they had 3 good days of practice, and they got a couple of days off, and then of course we came back and practiced today, and today was a good practice. So that's pretty much what we did.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. Coach, congratulations on the big win over Burns.
Yeah, thank you.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break. Sponsors are so thankful for our sponsors here on Mountaineer Football tonight. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with Coach Lloyd in just a moment. Well, welcome to Mountaineer Football tonight. So glad to have you back. Once again, I'm here with Coach Lloyd, head coach of the Mountaineers. Coach, we turn our attention to conference. We've played the non-conference schedule. These games, obviously, with each week become more and more important. Every week is going to be a crucial game. That conference slate ahead of us. We begin this week with Hunter Huss. You guys travel Friday night to play Hunter Huss. Hunter Huss has only played 1 game. So on one side, you don't have a lot of film to see on them, but it's still, nonetheless, you got to prepare for Hunter Huss this Friday. 0-1, they lost pretty big the Hickory Ridge in their first game. They've had some time off really to prepare for us. Talk a little bit about your preparation. You shared about the bye week preparation, but talk with us about how you guys are preparing for what you're going to face in Hunter Huss Friday night.
Well, Hunter Huss we always play a tough ball game with Huss. We have tons of respect for Hunter Huss. Last time we went there in 2019, we left with a big L, and that ended up really hurting us as far as winning the conference that year. They took it to us down there pretty good. They're always tough. I feel like they'll have a big support Friday. They've been off a few weeks, so they'll definitely be healthy and ready to go. I think they're a lot like us. I think they've got some seniors contributing, but they also got a lot of young guys contributing. So, and they're at home, first time they've been at home, and I know they'll be excited to play. But, our thing is they're a spread team. They throw and they run, so they're pretty balanced. So we just got to be pretty disciplined offensively. We need to put some pressure on the quarterback. And then they're based out of a 4-2-5 on their defense. We blocked that some this year, but we definitely can do a better job against it. So this is another opportunity for us to improve. First league game, Big South's always tough. Hunter Huss is usually in the mix. We're usually in the mix, so it's a big game. And it's a big rival game too. So schools are close together, and I'm sure there's nothing more they'd like to do than give us an L. So we've got to be ready, and we've got to go eager to play and have some enthusiasm and play our best football Friday.
Well, I know that you're going to want to encourage our Mountaineer fans to travel up 85, get over there to Gaston County, and see the game Friday night. So, Mountaineer fans, you need to be there. Let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned a little bit earlier with the seniors and some of the players going both ways. Got 3 games under your belt, Coach. You've had some players that went from not having any experience to now having a good bit of game experience. How do you see the confidence growing in some of these players who really for the first time really getting that starting role and a lot of playing time?
Yeah, and that's a lot of them. And the only way you get it, like you said, is by playing games. You can practice all the time, but it's not like the game. And so getting 3 games under a belt is a big deal. Playing a half against Catholic in the Jamboree is a big deal. Just getting them experience, and they're confident. I think that's what is helping us. The kids are confident. They bring all positive vibes. They have enthusiasm. They pull for each other. It's really is a close knit group, and they have fun. And as coaches, we're having fun working with them. And but not to mean we don't work hard, and we do, and we get on them some, and we're pushing each other some. But it's fun. It's a fun group, and you go out there and they're keeping score for a reason, and you're trying to win, and they're trying to win, and that's what makes it fun. And our guys compete hard, and I think we try to do it the right way. But I'm just tickled with the young guys and how well they've come along early in the year.
Well, best of luck to you Friday night as you play Hunter Huss. And that game is slated for this Friday night, 7:30, and you're going to want to. We'll get information out about the tickets and how you can get those tickets, and certainly want you to travel to Huss this Friday to support your team. Well, Coach, I apologize because I went off schedule. I'm sure my engineer back there, Drew Fulton, was shaking his head that I skipped the players of the game.
It's okay.
So we can't rewind, but we're gonna back up a little bit.
Okay.
And I know you're prepared for this, but with the big win over Burns, you've got some players of the game. We always do the 3 facets: defense, offense, and special teams. Let's start with the defense. Who did you give player of the game for the defense?
We're going to give it to DeAndre Hull. He did a nice job covering, and he had a momentum swinging interception at the end, in the 4th quarter. So DeAndre Hull is our defensive player of the game.
Congratulations, DeAndre. How about offense?
Offense is going to go to our right guard, Michael Lubas. He had an excellent game at right guard. He's plays super hard. He was number 55, just did a great job. He pulled a lot. He pass protected a lot, just did a great job. And we're giving our offensive player of the game to Michael Lubas.
Congratulations, Michael. How about special teams?
It's going to go to Mark Thomason. Mark he's done a great job of covering kickoffs, covering punts, but he had a big play in the first half where we pinned him deep on the punt. He was the player that was running the gunner down that stopped the ball from going in the end zone. So that was a big play. So Mark Thompson's our special teams player of the game.
Well, congratulations, gentlemen, on being named the Patriot Jacks Players of the Game, and we are so thankful for Patriot Jacks being our sponsor for that segment. We're going to do something new on Mountaineer football tonight. I've got Coach Lloyd prepared a little bit. We're gonna do from a fan's perspective. So when you come back after this sponsor break, we're gonna ask Coach some questions that perhaps you may have wondered yourself that you'd love to ask Coach. So we've got a few questions for him when we come back in just a few moments. Back at Mountaineer football tonight, I'm Jeff Johnson, your host. Now, I want you all to know, really, the reason I'm in this chair, I'm just a big fan. I'm just a big kid, but I love watching football, and I'm honored to be with the guys that do the broadcast for the home games. I'm there on the sideline, and I'm telling you what, I've got the best standing seat in the house, seeing these teams and seeing Coach Lloyd and other staff work, so it's great. But from a fan's perspective, Coach, I know that everybody's an armchair quarterback,
Sure.
but I know that for those that watch football, love the Mountaineers, perhaps they've got some questions to ask you.
Sure.
And I reached out to some friends, and these are some of the questions.
Okay.
And so one of the first questions, and it is kind of a shameless plug for you Mountaineer fans to travel to Hunter Huss Friday night, but how important really, from the players' perspective most of all, how important is it the role of the fans traveling and being here to fill the stadium for them and their gameplay? How does that impact you guys?
Well, I'm not sure there's a more exciting thing for players to have. Here in Kings Mountain, players are still able to have that Friday night fun, the big crowd, the band. It's a big deal. They feed off of it. And when the crowd's in the game and the band's rocking and they're behind the players, it does make a difference. It makes a huge difference, and it makes the players feel good. It makes them feel supported. Sometimes you got extra juice when you get people behind you. It's stuff you don't even know you had sometimes. So fans play such a crucial role, and we have great fans here in Kings Mountain. But I just encourage you to keep coming. When you come, no matter who we're playing, get loud, get behind the players because they feed off of it. They work really hard year-round to have an opportunity to play, and we don't get that many nights to do it. So we just appreciate a good crowd, and we appreciate them getting behind us.
Well, you heard it from Coach Lloyd. You need to get behind your team. That's one way you can really help motivate the players, and I think it just encourages them, as Coach said. So you need to travel well. We've always in recent years really traveled well.
Doubt.
So you need to be there Friday night for Huss, and then the next home game in another week and a half. All right, Coach, on to question number 2. In your opinion, I think this has been debated a lot in the sports world. What are your thoughts on athletes playing multi-sports during the course of a school year versus an athlete that feels like he wants to hone in on baseball or just one sport?
Sure.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm a believer in play what you want to play. Play as many sports as you want to play. And I'm not saying people that specialize are wrong. People make their own choices. But I think I've seen, when you look at all the NFL quarterbacks that start, I mean, you go back to their high school, they're playing everything, and I think for the most part, if you looked at pro athletes, you would see that they participated in multiple sports, but not all, obviously, but a good percentage. So, I mean, I think college coaches, I know in football, they want to know what kids play. Do they run track? Do they play basketball? Do they play baseball? They like players that like to compete, and that's what we like. And then, of course, if they're not involved with a sport, we think it's a great time to stay in shape, condition, like football. We want you, we do it in the mornings during the summer so players can come and still maybe play AAU basketball or play summer league baseball in the evening. So doing multiple things at the same time, we're all for it. And we share athletes here, and I think that's a great thing.
Well, I know a lot of people fall on different sides of
Sure.
the spectrum on that equation, but it seems like for a lot of these players, it would be good for athletic training and hand-eye coordination and
Sure.
preparation for any sports season to diversify.
No
A
doubt.
little bit of background.
No doubt.
Final question for you, Coach, and I appreciate you sticking around from the fans' perspective. What's the best leadership advice as it pertains to coaching you've ever received? And as you coach, how do you connect that to life? I know that's a loaded question.
I think to be a good, you have to lead by example. You have to set a good example. You need to be prepared in everything you do. You need to just always have a plan. You need to have a plan, and I think that pertains. You need to have a plan, and just like I said, just lead by example. Try to do the right things. Be a good role model, and we try to do those things. We're definitely not perfect, but we think football has tons of life lessons in it, and we hope we're teaching those players things. Even if a player doesn't play a lot of snaps on Friday, we still feel like they get a lot for being a part of the football program, and we appreciate all of our players and all of our coaches and all of our fans. It's just an excellent football program here, and we feel like the players get a lot out of it. I know I get a lot out of it. I get way more out of it than I put in, I'm sure. So I'm a blessed person, and I'm just thankful to be the head coach here, and very lucky to be.
Well, Coach, I've said it before. Thank you for what you do, pouring into young men. I can look back on my high school sporting experience and also beyond, and scouts and other things, and there were a lot of men that helped shape me into the man that I became. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
But, I think it's important for us as fans to realize, too, that I'm sure wins are important. But there's a lot of development, a lot of personal development, life development that goes on. So thank you so much for coaching our young men and the staff that you put around your young men.
Well, we got some really good guys, and we love working with the players.
Coach, it's been a good show. I'm honored to be here with you. We've known each other a long time, but thank you so much for joining us on Mountaineer Football tonight. And so thanks for being here.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you.
All right, we'll be back next Monday night with Coach Lloyd, and we'll be back in just a few minutes after this sponsor video, and we'll share about the rest of the sports world going on here at Kings Mountain High School. We'll be right back. Well, it's been a good show with Coach Lloyd. So glad that we've got this Mountaineer football tonight to really check in. We had a big win at Burns, and we turn our eyes ahead to this Friday night versus Hunter Huss, and I encourage you to be there at Hunter Huss to cheer on your Mountaineers. First game in conference, very important for you to be there. Let's look, I believe Drew's going to put a graphic on the screen for us, and we're going to talk about some other sports that are going on here at Kings Mountain High School this week. Today we've got volleyballs playing at Shelby. The soccer team's at Hunter Huss. Tomorrow volleyball's playing at South Point. Wednesday men's soccer will be playing here versus North Gaston, 6 o'clock. Thursday you've got volleyball home versus Stuart Kramer. Women's tennis at Hunter Huss. And JV football here at home right behind me in the stadium versus Hunter Huss. And of course the game we talked about a lot on this show, Friday night, will be versus Hunter Huss varsity football. That's what's going on this week at Kings Mountain High School. I will say that most likely there's no broadcast for this game, for the away game. We look forward to you being back here live in the stadium with the broadcast in a couple weeks, and we're so thankful for all the people that helped put that on. We've got Drew Fulton, Lamont Littlejohn, Henry Gilmore's helped us, Brandon Medley, so many others, Greg Scholl. So thankful for them. It's been a great show on Mountaineer Football tonight. Thanks for tuning in and sticking with us. And until next time, take care. We'll see you.